Hello everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner Christmas special live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We have dressed for the occasion. I'm wearing a hat and it's bloody roasting, so I'm not sure how long I'll be keeping this hat on for. And we're here to start off the Christmas period. And Christmas is always better when Rangers are top of the league, let's be honest. I'm your host, Scott Carney, and before I introduce the guys, let me just say, we know over the past few days, everything that's come out, all the restrictions, etc., is pretty terrible. We're not really all having a good time about it. We are going to spend a bit of time talking about it, but we are really here to just try and have a laugh and try and get everybody back in a bit of the Christmas spirit. So joining me is Mr. Happy himself, Ali Pearson.
How we doing? I can hear Ryan's kids in the background, or maybe Scotia's got some kids in this house. I don't know. I'm not too bad, to be honest. It's a dampener what's happened over the last couple of days there, but we've seen it come, to be honest. But it's I will probably get into it. It's disappointing, especially the Christmas period, because Christmas is all about meeting up with your pals, having a couple of babies, and the football's on, and the darts is on as well, which is always good. So it's disappointing.
So that hat lasted I don't know how long we've been going, a minute 44. Oh my God, man. The missus is working from home just now and it is roasting in here. So I couldn't keep that on any longer. Ryan Haymarsh, how are you, mate?
I'm good, boys. Good to see you. I've actually got the Christmas jumper that matches that hat, but I thought it was too much green and white shite, so that's why I didn't wear it. However, I got this Christmas jumper a couple of years ago, and I must have grown a wee bit because it fits me now, and it didn't fit me 2 years ago. So I feel like a big boy now that I actually fit into this jumper, or a fat bastard.
Yeah, I've had this for years as well. This is like a proper old man's Christmas cardigan thing. But it's, again, I don't know how long this is going to last, man. I'm sweltering here. I'm about to pass out. Scotia, how are you? Looking very festive, mate, like the Santa hat.
Yeah, I thought I'd actually lost this because I had memories of someone pinching it off me in the pub years ago on Christmas Eve, but I dug it out from the back. So yeah, I was glad I found it because it's quite a good wee warm hat. So a wee bit like you, that it's roasting. So this might come off at any stage through the pod.
Yeah, I think 1 minute me having that hat on is pretty impressive, and it is a bit of I know it's like a cross between an Aberdeen and a Celtic hat, but it is an Elves hat, and it is Christmas. I mean, come on, do you know what I mean? I did my best. Do you know what I mean? I dressed for the occasion. Come on. But so we're live, as I say. We're going to try and raise the spirits a wee bit. Please do like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also join the channel as well, and you can also buy the podcast a coffee if you don't want to join the channel. Scotia is always very thirsty, as we know. And a massive shout out to the man best known as Mark Fader, who very kindly has bought us 3 coffees today. Amazing, and thank you so much for the support. I don't know if because he bought us 3, I don't want to be presumptuous here and think maybe he just couldn't afford the 4, which is more than understandable considering he's bought 3, but I wonder who he doesn't like.
You like Scotia, definitely. Scotia's a fan's favourite here, so it's one of us 3.
Yeah, it's probably is one of us. It's probably me. It is probably me. And unfortunately, we have had to cancel a live show, which was a bit of a boot in the stones for all of us, just due to the restrictions that are in. It's just not possible in the venue that we were going to be in the Viceroy. It's not possible for the show to go ahead. You would literally have about 15 people in the room at the very, very most if we were to go ahead with it. So unfortunately, we can't do it, which is a real shame. We'll try and rearrange it for a future date. I'm not sure when this is going to be because where we're going to start, obviously, we don't know where football is going to be played or when it's going to be played or how it's going to be played. But we'll get into that. And finally, just before we do, Club at 22 is supported by Manscaped, the best of men's below the waist grooming. Go to manscaped.com, use the code Club at 22, you get 20% off and free shipping. I actually got my second delivery from Manscaped. I had to stock up on my ball deodorant, so I'm sorted for my ball deodorant. You must have run out by now.
No, I've still got a wee bit left. I think Scotia's ran out of his. He's been lathering his balls in that deodorant. You smell him when he comes into the pub.
Yeah. But right, let's address the elephant in the room, gentlemen. We're going to have to. obviously, Nicola Sturgeon's come out, made an announcement that there's no fans to be in from the 26th of December. Absolutely fine for fans to be in tonight, obviously, but not from the 26th of December onwards. So this has obviously caused the rest of the clubs and the Scottish Premiership to come together and try and get the winter break brought forward. As far as I'm aware, it is a 10-2 in favour. Ross County and Rangers are the only ones that are against this. There is 3 possible options. There's one, everything stops as of the end of the games tonight. The winter break starts, and then the other one is you play Boxing Day, then the winter break starts, and the third option is you don't have any break at all. I'll come to you, mate. I know this has been a bit of a gutter. It's a gutter for all of us. Our podcast night out was going to be Boxing Day, and now it can't happen, obviously. So, your thoughts on all of this, mate?
Gutted. I did say to you guys on Saturday, I felt this could be our last game at Ibrox this year, and it's correct now. But some of the rules are ridiculous. I think. I mean, you can have fans in tonight, so COVID isn't about tonight, but it's about the 27th. You can go to the pub on the 20th. So basically, all the games, if they're played on the 26th, we can all go to the pub because the pub restrictions don't kick in at the 27th. So technically, all the fans that were going to Ibrox could just descend on Glasgow into all the pubs. And to me, that's worse. It's indoors, less ventilation. Jason Leach came out today and went, there's the 500 fans that they've put in. There's no science behind that. And I'd like to see, when we've been at full houses now since August. So I don't think there's anything to suggest that cases have gone up because of football matches. It's an easy target, football matches, and we all know we were going to get hit with it. And the 500 fans, what Rangers will do, I don't know. Is it worth letting 500 fans in? Is it in terms of finances I can't see them doing it. I think they'll just leave it. But it's a farce, and obviously we've got a club on the other side of the city coming out with a statement last night saying they want to move the winter break to accommodate their fans. Let's not beat around the bush. That's utter garbage. The only reason they want to do that is because they've got certain players that are unavailable for the 2nd of January and they want to push it further back so they can have those players available. That's the bottom line. There was a guy with Hibs out today saying, we want to push it back because Sean Mulroney's only in the door now, so it gives him another 3 weeks to get with the team. So these teams have got agendas. They've all got agendas. And Celtic's restatement of, I know it's about the fans, utter garbage.
Yeah, an absolute lot of shit. Let's be completely honest. No, I'm not having that at all. We all know why it's been done. Every team's looking out for their best interest, Ryan. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I can understand why one team, obviously, Ali mentioned their Celtic. I will not get on board with them given any sort of excuse that they want to give. But there is one blatant reason why they want that to happen. The rest of the teams, I can kind of get it. Look, it's been a hard couple of years for every football team, and they are obviously looking out for the best interests of their club. However, there is no guarantee that this is going anywhere. We could just be literally kicking the ball further down the street. We're still going to need to go and get it.
Ho, 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 huh? I think the only guarantee is that it's not going away. COVID is not going anywhere at all, and the variations are going to come about. As far as I know, there's a scientist come out, or a professor has come out today and said there is no science behind any transferable infections at outdoor events or sporting events. There's nothing behind that to suggest that closing these games would prevent it. So again, I'm trying to be professional about this, and obviously when people vote different parties, we don't want to get political, but this government were quick to condemn all of us when we went to George Square, and probably put out tweets to condemn us going to George Square before some of us even arrived at George Square. And the figures after those 2 weeks after that had actually went down, and much today probably they were unhappy about that, but nothing was said about that. And there was obviously protests after that. We could go on about this forever, but this government don't like football. They don't like football fans, and we are suffering once again. It's very, very frustrating, but football needs to carry on. It needs to carry on for people's mental health. There's no logical reason to stop football. If you're going to stop the fans going into the ground, okay. You can't stop football. It does not make sense. This isn't going anywhere, and football has to continue. And that mob for East End are living up to their name as the beggars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to share something that I don't even know if I probably should, but I will. My old man tested positive for COVID. He tested positive after what game was it? What did we play last Wednesday? Somebody made me went blank. St Johnstone game. He tested positive on the Thursday morning. I was with him all day, not all day, the whole match on the Wednesday. Gave him a cuddle when I seen him, gave him a cuddle when we scored, gave him a cuddle when I left him. He tested positive. I then took 6 tests on the space of 4 days, and I don't have COVID. So where is your science to back up that football crowds are indeed the problem? It didn't seem to be a problem for me. So my dad definitely had COVID on the Wednesday night when I seen him. So there's literally no doubt about that. So thankfully my old man's okay. He's fine. He got his first negative test this morning, which is brilliant. So he's back to being fit and he'll be out for Christmas, which is great. But yeah, the science doesn't back up the reason behind all this, and it's hard not to get angry about the fact that football fans is an easy thing to target. Scotia, your thoughts on this this decision and the rest of the clubs in Scotland trying to get the winter break moved forward?
Yeah, there is the 2 aspects. There's the 500 fans thing, which again just seems like an arbitrary number that they've plucked out the sky, because it wasn't that long ago that we had COP26. And now I think COP26 was a very important event, very important topic to discuss. But the kind of hypocrisy from them wanting us to open our houses to let delegates stay and, share about, they come in, they can vote about the city freely. There was restrictions put all over Glasgow and the roads and things like that, to then turn around. And it does feel, perhaps it's because we're so into football, that it feels like football's getting punished. But it's like the whole of the Premiership clubs have all got attendances well over. Average attendance is well over 500, so a lot of people will miss out. Like Ali, what do Rangers do? Do they just keep it for hospitality purposes? That's the 500 made up of that, and journalists coming in? Because again, we go back to this situation that we were discussing at the start of the season, that it's not fair in the people that miss out on tickets. Really, so there's that aspect, and then there's also what's getting on now in terms of the options that they want to bring forward. What option 1 was? What, postpone everything after tonight?
Yep.
Yeah.
Option 2 is play the games on Boxing Day. Yeah, option 2 is play the games on Boxing Day,
forward,
and then cancel it. Yeah, and then the third option is don't do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, option 1. The other clubs don't want, because we've not got enough space to fit in the fixtures. Option 2, where they want to start back on the 17th of January. We've got a game on the 21st on the Friday night, so we would need to play one of our games on the Monday night, really, potentially the Tuesday night, to then get that Stirling Albion game played. And that's just one game that we're saving by bringing the winter break forward. It makes no sense to me. And then the third option to me is the most sensible one. I said this at the start of the season, there should have been contingencies in place, because in the back of my mind, I knew something like this was always going to happen. Jason Leach has said that the peak of this virus isn't going to be until about end of January, February time. So they are just kicking the can down the road, because I honestly can't see full capacity crowds being allowed back in. Like you say, it's all about, because these big fixtures coming up over the Christmas break. And in particular, this the Old Firm game gives me so many flashbacks to 2007, when the game was postponed due to Celtic requesting it for the reasons that they wanted to, while Motherwell and Macy actually continued playing their game. That was cancelled. Alan Hutton would have started that game. He was absolutely on fire that season. Mm-hmm. He gets sold later on in the transfer window to Villa. Or was it Villa or Spurs? He went to Spurs, wasn't it? Yeah, Spurs. And when the rearranged fixture took place, I think it was around March time, very close to like the other Old Firm game, and I think we ended up losing the rearranged fixture. I think Hesselink may have scored that one, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it stinks. And then on top of that, think of all the players that potentially, well, not all the players, but players that will get sold and players that will come in. So they're playing in games that they wouldn't have been eligible before, and you're losing players that would have been eligible before. And then we've got obviously the three guys for us that are going to be at AFCON, because that's looks like it's still going ahead at the moment.
Scotia.
So they would have been playing against.
Scotia. Can I just interrupt you? Sorry, are you suggesting there's an agenda with this?
There might be. You never know. It feels like that, doesn't it?
Just in case I misunderstood.
Yeah, because see those AFCON games. It was going to be the Livia game at home, the Ross County game away, and then Hearts and Hibs at home that they would miss if Nigeria got to the sort of final or the last three playoff. So now that's going to be likely, if this goes through, it'll probably get announced at some point tonight. It'll be the St Mirren game and then the Aberdeen and Celtic games, which are two of our big, massive games. So, not particularly happy what's going on the last few days with this.
I don't think anybody is, mate. It's, as I say, it's unfortunate. I think also the argument as well was at least we were getting to watch the football. We were taking kind of a bit of something from that. Okay, we weren't getting to go to the football, but we're still getting to watch it, and it looks like we're not even going to get to watch it now. And this is all just to fit. One club's agenda has started it, and it's snowballed, and the rest of the clubs have joined onto the back of it, and it's left us in this position now where it's definitely going to happen. I've got no doubt that the winter break's going to get brought forward, and the only kind of team that I see not benefiting from it really is Rangers, and that sounds pretty tin pot. But as Scotia's just explained, with the African Cup of Nations coming up, we'll be losing players, and other players will be getting players back, etc., etc. So no, it doesn't look good right now, and I would fully expect it to go the way that we don't really want it to go.
Carney,
I don't really want. Carry on, mate.
Yeah, because it's came out earlier this afternoon that the Championship clubs, League 1 and League 2, are just going to, carry on.
Yeah.
Through it. I'm not sure if they have a winter break or not anyway, but they're still going to play their games over the Christmas period. Whereas it's just
they don't have a winter break, Scotia. But
all right,
I don't see why we need to stop our games when the Championship, League 1, League 2 are all playing their games. I think it's a nonsense. We're only 2 weeks, 13 days or whatever it is, or 12 days away from the break. We're 3 games away. It's, to me, if you can fulfil your games, play them. We went all the way through last season with COVID situations, and we all know COVID hurt Celtic the most out of any club in the world, apparently, last season. But it is what it is at the moment. We all know what it is. We could get hit with COVID. If you can fulfil your fixtures, it needs to be done. And that's what's happening to St Mirren tonight, playing Celtic. And St Mirren should come to Ibrox on the 26th and play us. And then we should go up, play the Sheep, and then play that Man Came Over at their own ground. And that's it. Then we shut down for 3 weeks. Like you say, you can't just keep kicking the can down the road, because we can't look into the future in 3 weeks and go, it's going to go back to normal in 3 weeks, because it probably isn't, to be honest. So
no, of course it isn't, especially when Nicola Sturgeon's saying it will be reviewed in 3 weeks. We all look, COVID feels like it's been here our whole lives already. It generally does, and I know what's coming. Everybody else don't know. You're talking, I think, at least mid-February before you get full capacity stadiums. At least. I don't think we'll get anywhere near it. And now, as I say, you're going to have such a backlog of games to play, and obviously we are still in a very important European competition, not in the Conference Johnston's Paint European competition that happens. So there's just going to be this backlog, and obviously with the African Cup of Nations players, our most informed player is not going to be here, and it just looks like it's all in the aid of one team. And I say, as tin pot as that sounds, to me, that's all this is about. It's about one team and one team alone, and it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do. It's the same old
Carney.
SFA. Carry on.
Let me jump in. See, for a wee bit of shithousery that we could do. The rules, the SPFL rules state that if there's 3 players away for international duty, then you can request to get the game postponed. So
100%,
if this
Rangers should be
happens,
doing that.
Rangers should be definitely doing that if Aribo's still here at that point, because there's worries that he'll maybe leave. But
Get King back in. King will do it.
Yeah. As I say, I think it's going to happen. It is. I mean, there's literally nothing you can do about it. This will happen now, and it's a sad state of affairs. There's not much Rangers can do about it. I know people might get angry at the club, but what can they do? I mean, it's 10 against 2. You can't really compete with that. Nothing, literally absolutely nothing you can do. Is there anything else to add on this, lads, before we move on and try and bring a wee bit of positivity back to our lives here instead of sitting talking about COVID? Because I'm sure everybody, including me, is sick of it. Anything else to add, lads?
not really.
Champions will just go on with it, and that's it, isn't it?
We will. That's the thing. We will. As I say, remember. Well, the last thing I'll say is I didn't realise Ange Ball stood for terrified of Rangers. So I've learned something new this week. If nothing at all, I have learned that. So I'm going to do something that I've not even told you about. We're going to do a virtual, but you don't actually get the present. We're going to do a Secret Santa, but you just tell everybody what you would have got them, and I'll go first to set the tone. All right. So Ali, my Christmas present to you is a joke book, mate, so you don't use the same one all year. I think that would be mine to you. Ryan, it has to be a book on Rangers strikers, mate, after your Marco Negri calamity. And Scotia's, yours would be another hamster, mate, to be on the Wi-Fi wheel. So your camera and that would work a wee bit better. Who wants to take a bash next?
That would be great.
Oh God, I wish I'd prepared for this. I could have.
I know, I told you. It's a very underprepared podcast tonight. I'm telling you, I've not even thought about it tonight. Oh. None of you's got nothing. God, right. Thanks, lads, for all this year we've had. Thank
Carney,
you.
For you, Carney, for you, I'd get a wee Rangers like baby grow thing.
Oh,
your recent news, right?
Thanks,
so that's the only decent one I could think of. What would I get for Ali?
Carney, I'll get you a Rangers Dad t-shirt.
Okay, thank you.
Right, you're done. Right,
I'll get you.
I'll get you a voucher.
I'll get you a Brandon Barker full-size cutout.
No, not a chance.
Or you can have the real Brandon Barker because he's been nowhere to be
You could probably afford them, yeah.
I'll buy you Brandon Barker. You do your grass.
Ryan would get a night.
On you go.
No, on you go.
Oh, for God's sake, when you go.
It's Christmas, I'm being nice. Ali, you're getting a Nigeria top with Aribo on the back of it. Scotia, you're getting a Romania top with Hadji on the back of it. Done.
Done.
I'm getting Ryan a night with Marco Negri.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll never live this down. Like.
Ali, I'll just get him a Celtic top.
Well, you can't be saying that in this podcast. Gosh, Christ. Get kicked off for that.
Oh, right. Is that us? We done that there? That was good now. What would we get, Jamie?
Oh, fuck.
Something for Alfie. Some dog thing.
Something for Alfie. Alfie's got everything. But
some time so that he can come back in the pod more often.
Yes, some time. That's what we should. We'll chip in and buy him some time, and we'll bring Jamie back on the podcast. I can't think of anything else I would get Jamie. He can't get him any Castor gear because he's got every fucking Castor jumper and t-shirt that comes out.
They've got a sale at the moment, up to 60 or 70% off at the moment on certain stuff. I just got the email. Some good stuff if you go online and have a look.
Is Jamie still modelling for Castor? Yeah,
I think so, mate. Yeah, I think he's still got that deal. Yeah, I think he's still doing the modelling. Yeah, I would say I hardly see him now, so it must be down to the Castor deal that he's got going. You can.
Well, they've got Wolves. They're doing Wolves as well, so he'll be doing the Wolves tops and the Wolves range.
Way down to do Wolves.
And they've got Newcastle, so he'll be doing them as well, I'd imagine.
Well, apparently there's a Castor dog range coming out too, and Alfie's in the prime spot to get it. So there's Jamie. Right, so we'll move on to we'll move it back to Rangers stuff. Obviously, it's a bit hard for us to sit here and try and preview a game that's probably not going to happen. Let's be honest. It's hard to look forward when we don't really know what's going to happen. So we'll do something that I sent to you last night. I'm not sure if you said a chance. One bit of this podcast that has actually been prepared or thought about being prepared is we'll pick out a Rangers highlight that is not 55, because that's obviously our highlight. But obviously Christmas and New Year's a time for reflection over the last year. So I think we would all agree 55 was the highlight. But what was your Rangers highlight? Any of you want to go first, particularly, or do you want me just to go round you? Got to go, Ryan.
I'll start us off. I think there's so many highlights for us. I wanted to say Tommy Sheridan, but obviously that's nothing technically to do with Rangers. And I couldn't pick out one video, but there's so many of them. But Tommy, if you're watching, thanks for everything this year. It was absolutely magic watching you those meltdowns. 2nd of May, last Old Firm game of the season. Terry Monroe was already dead and buried, and we were still partying at that time. It just felt like a great opportunity for us just to put them to bed and get a right good score on them. I think when the game started, it was at early doors. I think Callum McGregor got a yellow card for chopping Kent down because Kent had put the ball through his legs. It wasn't long after he then get booked again for chopping Kamara as well. That's how stupid Callum McGregor is. Straight into a tackle when he was already booked, gets sent off, and we score from that bit of play. Roof chest into the goal. It was a lovely goal. They equalised, and then up step Alfredo. He can't score against Celtic Morelos, and scores probably the most underrated Old Firm goal I've seen by the media. I mean, that was a ripper of a goal. Nutmegs Brown, and then roofs it into the top of the net. In the media, well, the commentators react as if it's a tap-in. World-class goal in a massive game like that. So we got 2-1, and then Roof scores a kind of training ground goal. Plays it out to the Barisic cross it in, Roof heads it into the goal. 3-1, game's by, and the cherry on top of the cake, 38-year-old Jermaine Defoe turns the Prince of Coatbridge inside out, leaves him on the floor, chewing the champion's turf, where we slots it past the keeper and makes it Rangers 4, Celtic 1. Rest in peace, Terry Monroe. That was my favourite game of last season, my favourite moment of last season or this year. It's
hard to disagree with that one. That was fantastic that day. That really was. That had everything that you wanted. Was that game. It literally had everything that went in our favour. It really did. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day. And that Kamara Roof goal doesn't get spoke about enough. That was an absolute peach of a goal. The way he set that up himself, pretty much. I'll go next. My highlight of this year, the full year, is after the Old Firm win, and I'm feeling it. Come on. And a full house at Ibrox was singing I'm Feeling It. As I think about that, and as I was thinking about it today while I was in work, God, you can't wipe the smile off my face when I think back on that. That was a spectacular occasion. No keeper, no manager, no captain, all due to COVID. No complaints from us. We carried on and we get the job done. And yeah, I'm feeling it at the end. That will live with me for a long time. That was very, very special, and I still smile about it to this day. It's absolutely brilliant. As I said, they've tried to replicate it a few times after it, and I'm like, just let that lie. Let that moment be. That was tremendous. Don't try and do it again. It was so good. So that was my. I mean, there's so many highlights of the year, but that's a right highlight for me. Was that I just loved it and screaming. I'm feeling it at the top of my lungs. It was great. Scotia, do you want to go next?
Yeah, well, a few of the guys there have posted it. Jim Sloan and Michael Morgan and the likes have posted one of them, and I've kind of cheated a wee bit. I picked two, one from last season and one from this season, and it was the Union Bears on the Clyde before the Old Firm game. It was spectacular.
Absolutely.
And then this season, maybe not a massive highlight. Well, it was the three friendlies at the start of the season, because it was the first time I was back in Ibrox for God knows how long. So just being able, I was lucky enough to get tickets for all three of those games against Arsenal, Real Madrid and Brighton, and obviously Shane Duffy was there for the Brighton game, and it was pretty funny, to be honest, the amount of pelters he took all through that game.
Sorry, can I can I just break in there? There's breaking news from.
Oh, is there?
Yes, the Scottish Premiership's winter break will start after Sunday's Boxing Day fixtures.
Right.
That's crap.
So, the Old Firm
Well,
in the second. Well,
so it couldn't suit one more team more if you fucking scripted it. Honestly, it's blatant. We all know what's happened there. Well, I mean, I don't think we've ever been live when there's been breaking news. God, I don't know what to do with myself. I've not read it. So, am I shocked? No, I'm not shocked. I knew it was going to happen.
Not unexpected.
As soon as it mentioned, I knew it was going to happen. I'm probably shocked that we're actually playing Boxing Day. I'd imagine Sky maybe had something to say about that due to the TV fixtures and whatever else on Boxing Day. But I'm not shocked. This is what happens. This is the fucking SFA. This is Scottish football. They all bow down to one team. We are Rangers, Super Rangers, I think, and nobody likes us. And I'm pretty sure we don't care about that. So, yeah, what it is. Ryan, anything to add on that?
I hope the players are as frustrated as the fans will be. We were all expecting that decision. It's done. Let's just go on with it and let's beat them and leave them with no excuses and nothing but the tail between their legs. They can cuddle into that League Cup, but let's do them. That should get some fire in the players' belly.
Absolutely, yeah. Scotia?
Yeah. They always knew it was going to happen, but it's like I was saying, there should have been, rather than having a vote like a couple of days before this all kicks off, there should have been stuff written in at the start of the season because we knew what was going on with COVID. It's the SPFL just been so short-sighted and self-interested. Now, don't get me wrong, would we have been slightly different if the shoe was on the other foot? I'd like to think not, but we're football fans, we can be a bit hypocritical at times. But it's just to suit one team really only.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit of a scunner. But like I say, if they do end up putting the Old Firm game as one of the first games back, we'll just use that wee rule that we've got to get the game postponed, just to put the boot right up them and get them to play it when their wee boy Kyogo and whoever else are away playing the World Cup qualifiers for their countries, because that happens in the middle of the season as well, just to get it right up them.
Yeah, I thought we were on a positive upspringer on this pod there, getting over this, and that's just honestly, I'm trying my hardest not to get really annoyed about it. Ryan, is that genuinely your boy?
That is my boy. Yeah, he must be sitting in the living room watching it.
That is so fair. I was just like, Dad. I was like, what the fuck? That's great, man. That's so fair.
Ali, you're all right. Get that green.
I'll give you more breaking news.
What's happened now?
This is for Keith Jackson, Christ, on Twitter.
Oh, God.
Celtic v Rangers now set for February the 2nd, which I think is a Wednesday night.
No, not happening.
And Follow have said it as well.
Do you know why they'll do that though? I'll tell you something right now. You can guarantee that there'll be no fans back in the stadium by 2nd of February. That's exactly what that is. There is no chance they'll put that on a midweek game. No way. So that almost tells you its own story there, I think. Well, I don't know. Am I being a wee bit too pessimistic there?
It's going around Twitter at the moment. That's second. Follow on about it.
Fuck's sake.
What
is happening, man? Honestly.
No fun on Wednesday night. Christ.
There's no way. There's no way. So that obviously says to me that there won't be full. There won't be.
There's a wee trivia for you. I think I know the answer to this. When was the last time we played them midweek?
It was a terrible game. That's all I know. It was a pure.
Was it not a League Cup game or something? Was it a replay?
One I can remember.
Or something. Did Avalanche score in extra time or something?
That's the one. Come on down. Yeah. Well done, Ali. I'm pretty sure that was the last one.
No, I'm sure there was one in 2007 or 2008 that was midweek. Because we were watching it in the Lansdowne. We were watching in the Lansdowne pub in Great Western Road, because they had some Rangers fans up the top and then Celtic fans down the bottom. Wasn't great fun.
Was the McCoy's Lennon one? Was it not midweek?
Could have been.
Remember
It was dark. It was dark when they went at each other. Yeah, that was a late night game when they both went at each other's throats. Yeah,
maybe that one.
I must agree with this comment though by Robert. Who cares what day we beat them? I don't really care either. But I just think it's I just think they won't put on a midweek game if fans are going to be allowed in. They just won't. I mean, we've got to kick off again 8:30 on a Sunday morning. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there's no chance they're going to play it. They're going to have.
And all three of our Nigerian players potentially are still away in that date. And if Scotia's correct in saying we can postpone that game,
I'll be doing that. Well, you think you can request to postpone it? Doesn't mean that you'll get it.
I have not looked at the rules fully, but I think you can request, and all being fair and equal in the world, which we know it's not, and certainly not in the SPFL, it probably will get booted back.
Yeah, Teddy Bears put that I missed the night Old Firm games. They're a bit different. They're a bit different because everybody's fucking hammered and can't remember it. It's all day drinking, man. That would be 2 days off for me. I would need to take the day off work and the following day. So that's a 2-dayer for me. So there's no chance I'm remembering it.
There you go. So that's Stevie Links. You just got it.
Finishes on the 6th of February, so Nigerian players will probably be back before then. Depends how they got on, I suppose. I don't know. Who's favourites, Scotia? You tell me who's favourites for the African Cup of Nations.
Nigeria probably should be it'll probably be like Algeria or Egypt maybe, but I'm sure Nigeria finished third last time round, and that obviously that third place playoff gets played the day before the final, so it would still be that same weekend if they managed to get that far again.
Aye. Right, well, there we go. As I say, that's some breaking news on a podcast. There we go, and it's not news that we all want to hear. Unfortunately, what you gonna do? Literally, what can you do? The club are pretty much defenceless against this. They can't do anything. They're not going to beat a 10-2 swing. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, I'm shocked that Boxing Day is even happening. I suppose it gives you something to look forward to in the sense that we get to sit and watch Rangers on Boxing Day, but it will obviously be in front of the telly. So
now we'll need to all think and pick our teams for the game then.
Yeah.
God, so we will.
The game
fuck. Right, okay. So we will. We'll finish with that. We'll come on to that. We'll finish with that. Ryan, I don't know if I think you'll be man stating Mick at you. Am I usual in here?
He's left. I've got as you know, I've got him tonight. So he is sitting through that room, probably having a good laugh to himself.
He's telling all his pals and that now as well. He'll be telling all his mates. That's great. So, right, Ali, we'll come back to you. I think that's where we were for your Rangers highlight, mate. Before we're going to need to move on and speak about St Mirren now. The reason I didn't do it is I didn't think it was going to happen. So, what was your Rangers highlight apart from 55, obviously?
Yeah, I've parked that for last season now. That's I'm moving on for 56. But to start the year last year, I thought their Dubai trip was brilliant. Just because January is a bit of a shit month, to be honest, and the COVID was back in, and they all went to Dubai, and they took that Julian, who is still, I've not seen him for Celtic yet, who was injured at the time over there, caught COVID, and Neil Lennon went in his rant in the press, and that their season utterly collapsed after then.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good highlight because it was in the press constantly. They were getting battered for pillar to post, and it was just brilliant to watch. But my kind of Rangers highlight, as I think one of the guys mentioned in the chat earlier on, would be just Joe Aribo. Basically, Joe Aribo this season for me has been outstanding. That when he pulled the ball out with Sky and then that wee dribble away,
yeah,
he's I just think he's on another level, Joe Aribo. I've been saying it for bloody God knows how many weeks, but Joe Aribo for me.
Absolutely, yes. We all know how much you love spending time with that cardboard cutout of Aribo, mate. So
it's locked in my cupboard, Joe Aribo.
He's been a revelation. I know, like, we all know how much of a talent he is, but some of the things that we've been witness to this season, especially, it's just been incredible. And yeah, that kill out the sky, just everybody in Ibrox just stood up and just applauded. Just like, wow, Joe, wow, very, 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 very good. So yeah, I cannot can't disagree with you. We'll quickly do the other thing that I'd said to you before. We'll move on to the St Mirren game. So your podcast highlight of the year. We've only been going now, what, a year and 2 weeks or something, around that, a year and 2 weeks. So what's been your pod highlight, Ali?
Oh God.
Oh God, why? Oh God, you must have loved doing this pod, mate. If that's your reaction.
I'm trying to think of a highlight. I don't know, because I've done that many bloody podcasts, to be honest.
Yeah. Can I go first? I know mine.
I would say a highlight would be getting over 1,000 subscribers for us on the podcast, because I think we all looked at that 1,000 and way back months ago. We were only over 100 odd subscribers at that point, and we got to 1,000 quite quickly, and we're growing quite rapidly. Obviously, we went to do the live show, and unfortunately, due to COVID and bloody Nicola Sturgeon, we can't do that. I thought that was a highlight from where we've came from as a pod. We're only a year old, to be honest, to where we are now. I thought that was a good highlight in terms of where we are at this present point.
CGM 55, your highlight should be the day I subscribed.
There you go. Well, he's one of the 1,300, so there you go.
Very highly of yourself, our CGM. Yeah. That's fair enough. My highlight was Scotia's reaction to getting called Neil Oliver.
That was brilliant.
Character. Honestly.
Give it again, Scotia, come on.
I did so well.
I'm not like you, Ali.
I did so well to hold that together. If you haven't seen that, I think it's on. I think there was I think we did a live club preview. I'm sure it was. It was just me and you, Scotia, a couple of weeks ago. And the way you just broke into character, mate. Honestly, mate, I nearly fell off this chair. I was laughing that much. It was superb the way that you handled it. It was so funny. I still watch it now, mate. I've actually screen recorded the wee bits every now and again. I can just watch you going, "This is Scotland." It was outstanding. Scotia, I'll come to you. What's been your pod highlight?
There's a couple that probably won't make sense to many people listening, but probably, well, I'm surprised it's not yours, is the first one that we ever done where you didn't have to go back in and edit stuff because we kept messing things up and saying stupid things. But yeah, that's probably
say
more
stupid things, mind you, mate. Aye.
Oh, aye, all the time. But that's probably more between us, really. But I would say probably doing these live broadcasts of it, and then also the Q&As that we do. They've been really good because you don't know what you're getting, you don't know what questions are going to come in, and I've enjoyed them. Yeah.
Curry Muncher said when Carney did his first Manscaped, the other guy's faces were a picture. I think Ali did the first one. I'm sure Ali did the first. Yeah, you did. That was, I couldn't hold that together. It's funny though. I mean, saying your balls will thank you is a funny thing to say. So I show my immaturity sometimes. Ryan, obviously you're quite new to the podcast, mate, but a solid member of the podcast at that, mate, an integral part of this podcast. What's been your highlight, mate?
I think I've settled in. I'm starting to be a first team regular. I've proven my worth in the transfer window. Yeah, so and I've just enjoyed. I know it's a cheesy answer, but I just enjoy coming on the pod every time I can with you and talking about Rangers, like your favourite subject. I do remember not trying not to laugh when we were doing the Manscaped for the first time. And I remember saying before we came on air, I was like, I can't look at you. And I looked at you, Carney, and you were the worst person to look at because I could see you were proper jiggling away to yourself like that. Yeah, and if you probably look back at it, you probably see me try to hold it together while Ali's giving it your balls of thank you. So that was really funny. And I'm somebody who I don't take myself seriously. I love a laugh. And when I came out with Marco Negri that day for the Rangers, if anybody's not watched it, your first 11. And I said, Marco Negri's my first 11. Carney obviously knew, but Ali and Scotia's face, they were just like, are you fucking serious? Marco Negri? So many laughs on this, and I'm really enjoying it, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? And I also enjoy interacting with the listeners. It's great having a laugh for them as well.
I've just got a new highlight. You're funny.
Yeah, that takes the biscuit, that one.
Yeah, but he's got to remember Santa's coming, by the way. He needs to be careful what he's saying here. Santa sees everything. Just you be careful. Be careful, Harvey boy.
That boy he's giving it the big one tonight. But we'll see what happens when this pod goes off air.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd also have a really nice comment as well. Genuinely hope the podcast continues. It will continue because we like to come on here and make an arse ourselves by saying the wrong stuff all the time and just having a laugh. This is what it's all about, to be honest. I was going to say something on that the Manscaped thing. Ali, it was actually the following podcast that it had to be read out when it hadn't started yet. And I said to Ali in work, I was like, mate, you're going to need to read out this Manscaped bit. And he's like, what are you talking about? Sent it over to him and he's reading it. He's going, Danny, say your balls. Thank you. I'm like, hi, mate. It's the first pod, mate. You're going to need to say it. It was only after the pod that I was like, you didn't have to read that out tonight, mate. I just wanted you to be the first one and not me.
It doesn't bother me saying it. I actually quite like talking about the Manscaped stuff.
Yeah, no, it was really, really funny.
There's Stuart Keane in the comments saying the Sheep game away Tuesday the 18th of January, which is a bit of a bastard because I'm away down south in my work that bloody day, so I won't be going out for dinner with them that night. I will be watching the game myself because I'd imagine that's in Sky Sports.
Yeah, it will be. What will be? So we're playing the Tuesday, Friday then?
No, yeah. Tuesday. Oh, sorry. We've got the get Stirling Albion. Yeah.
God, I was like, what? I was like, I thought you got me all confused there. No, yes.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, Friday. That's not ideal, is it? Look, we all expected this. It is what it is. As I say, it really is. It is what it is. But we'll move on, lads. We'll see what. Well, coming up to. Now we need to speak about the St Mirren game. Obviously, it's now going to happen. Obviously, quite hard to predict the way what St Mirren state the St Mirren are going to be in. However, Ali, you did mention before we come on there that there's not as many of them out as you first thought, or as we were kind of getting led to believe, I suppose. So, what's your thoughts ahead of the game against St Mirren on Boxing Day?
I had a quick look at their team tonight against that mob, and there was a guy on it who I'd assume was a St Mirren fan on their Twitter that was saying he was shocked. He thought it was going to be worse than what it was. There was 8 out of the 11 that's usually in their team. Their bench was all full of folk that have never played for St Mirren though, but the first 11, there was 8 out of 11 that you would recognise. So I would fully expect Celtic to beat them tonight. It'd be brilliant if they didn't. It would be a bit of a laugh if that happened, but I fully expect them to do it. St Mirren at Ibrox, they're a stuffy team when we go away to their ground, to be honest, but at Ibrox we usually take care of them. Yeah, they've got a few players missing with COVID, and I would expect Rangers to beat them convincingly on Boxing Day, and also knowing that it is our last game as well, so they might want to go out and put on a show for the fans, even though we're not there. We're going to be I'm going to be in a pub and amongst a lot of other Rangers fans, which I find bizarre that I can be in a pub with 100 Rangers fans all mixing very close to each other on the 26th, and it'll be weird. It will be weird watching the game back in the pub when it's an empty Ibrox, but I fully expect Rangers to do the business on Sunday. Yeah,
I would be shocked. I'd also be shocked if Celtic don't manage to convincingly beat them tonight. Just due to the kind of complications that have been through all this. Ryan, it's quite a difficult. It's quite difficult. Obviously, we've got to completely change our mindset now in the sense of we obviously thought we had three games that we would be looking to take as many points from as possible. Now we've only got one against a team that we don't know how many players are in and how many players are out. So it's a completely different kind of feeling to the game. And again, I don't want to go down the whole negativity road and all this, but it doesn't really seem right. Brought this break forward. Why play this one game behind closed doors? Why do this? And again, my pessimistic mind, mate, is just going back, because it suits Celtic.
You've got to remember, and I hope Ali takes note of this when he's in the pub on the 26th, the virus, the deadly virus that's out there, doesn't become active until then. So we're okay to play this game, and then just obviously watch yourselves after that, guys. Just be aware, stay safe. I fully expect Rangers to kind of get 3 points against them. I don't see there'll be any problems, especially if they're affected by COVID. I think the management team will be frustrated because they were just starting to get a bit of momentum. We were getting a run of wins together. I know we didn't play particularly well at the weekend, but the victory's there, another 3 points, kept to 0. Rangers gained momentum and get through what was supposed to be a sticky patch with the Livingston, Hibs and Hearts away games. I think the players would be hungry for Aberdeen away and Celtic away. Now they've got to kind of wait over this winter break and hope we don't get any COVID with the players or any players get pick up injuries. But in terms of the St Mirren game, I don't have any concerns. Not in an arrogant way. I just don't foresee this Rangers team having any problems there. I hope that Van Bronckhorst goes with one sitting defensive midfielder. I know he played Lundstrom and Kamara at the weekend, and I don't think that was the best decision. I don't foresee him doing that again at the weekend. I think he'll play Kamara himself and will attack St Mirren. So I don't see any problems with that at all.
No, I actually said on the post-match, I said I don't think Kamara and Hadji play in the same team. I didn't mean that. I meant Kamara and Lundstrom because when I watched it back, I was like, what the fuck am I talking about? I meant the Kamara and Lundstrom. And Scotia, I think that's the only thing we can be sure of. It cannot be as bad as the game against Dundee United.
No, Dundee United was the worst performance under Gio so far, wasn't it? So I'm glad we didn't have to review that game again because I wouldn't have enjoyed that very much, to be honest. But yeah, like the guys, I'm fully expecting that this should be a game that we handle fairly comfortably. I've got to say, I do feel a bit sorry for St Mirren, and I'm surprised they've not been moaning more because did they not get hit with like COVID? Players been out for COVID. I think 2 of their goalkeepers were out earlier in the season and they were forced to play a game. So for St Mirren to have to play the 2 best teams in the league back to back when they're really depleted, I do have to say I feel a wee bit sorry for St Mirren. But just got on me.
I don't.
Did
you see what our manager was on Sunday?
So he was. So
I could not care. That guy has got one agenda and one agenda only. So I am not bothered that St Mirren have to do this.
But Scotia, the St Mirren haven't been affected, like I said earlier on, as much as Celtic with COVID. So I kind of feel that sorry for them. Remember what Celtic went through last season. Yeah.
I suppose remember back in the old games, we were affected by COVID.
Can I just say a quick thing in the fixture list? I just think it's a nonsense. I know we're going back over old ground here a wee bit again, but I'm just looking at the fixture list with the new fixtures in date now. So we start on the Tuesday the 18th to Aberdeen. On the Friday night we play Stirling Albion. Then on the Wednesday night we're at home to Livingston. Then on the Saturday we're away to Ross County. Then on Tuesday the 2nd of February we're away to Celtic. Then on Saturday the 5th of February we're at home to Hearts. And then on Wednesday the 9th we're at home to Hibs. It's completely congested. It is.
And then the Borussia Dortmund games the week after that as well.
Yeah, it's. I really don't know what they're thinking behind all this is. It's a nonsense, man. It's just made it even worse now, the congestion.
Yeah, they have made it worse. The CJ is quite good. Someone will be off to Dubai after Sunday. Very possibly. An all expenses paid trip by another club in Glasgow. Yeah, I mean, Scotia, did I come to you about St Mirren there? Did I? I can't even remember.
You asked me about St Mirren, yeah.
Thank God, because I thought I was losing my mind there. I'm getting annoyed here, and I didn't want to get annoyed in the pod, but I'm getting annoyed at all this because of the way it's happened, and yeah, we've just got to kind of sit back and take it, I suppose, and the SFA they've just created problems. That's all they've done here. Such is life, you can't really doing about it. Need to just kind of build the bridge and go over it. We'll try and predict a team for it. Ali, you can go first, mate. What's your score prediction and your team prediction?
Right, team Jagger, Tav, Goldson, Bassey. I think Barisic hopefully should be back because I think it was just a flu he had or whatever. Then it will be Kamara. Arfield, Kent, Aribo, Sakala, Morelos. That's my team. No Hadji. I know he get man of the match on Saturday and he put a fantastic performance in, but Hadji will need to take a seat in the bench for me on Sunday. Sorry, Hadji. Sorry, Scotia as well. God. Oh, and sorry, my scoreline is 3-0 Rangers and Morelos first goal scorer.
Fair enough. Make it simple, mate. My team would be exactly the same. I don't think I would change anything from that. I was thinking, as you were saying, I thought you were going to leave Aribo out again there. I was he's going to forget about Aribo. No, I think I would be exactly the same. I can't think of anything that I would change with that. I know Hadji got a hard time, but he was poor. He was poor, and I think you've got to be honest when a player doesn't play very well. And the man of the match thing, I think it was the rumble around Ibrox after it. Everyone was like, "Sorry, what?" There's just no way. It was just a poor game for him. Look, it's going to happen. But when you're playing poor, maybe not the Arabona with the last kick of the ball, not the best idea. And then put it at the park, not the best idea to do. So no, I would
apologise straight away.
He did, yes, he did, mate. Sorry, I know Scotia, you can stick up for him. I do apologise. I don't want to be too harsh on him, but I would certainly be playing Sakala in front of him on Boxing Day, and I'll go 2-0 and I'll go Ryan Kent to score first. Ryan, your team and your score.
It's hard to disagree with that team. I can't really think of who I would change with that team. It's, I want to see Rangers attack teams like this, and Sakala, Kent and Alfie up front are my front three. That's who I would pick. And just Aribo float where he wants, Arfield doing what he does, linking the forward and the midfielders. Yeah, that's the team I would like to see. And I will go 3-0 Rangers. Stick with Alfie first goal scorer. And when I heard Hadji was man of match, I actually didn't know Scotia was sponsoring the match on Saturday. So Could be number for you, Scotia. Fair play.
He used his money he makes on OnlyFans, mate, to sponsor the game. So well, fair play to Scotia, man. He's the one making the money. But yeah, I didn't realise Scotia was a match sponsor. He kept it very quiet. Scott, don't give out your OnlyFans, mate. God, you're not able to deal with the demand.
Right.
Your teammate and your score prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I would have had a far different team had the news not come through there for this game, but my team's exactly the same as yours and Ali's. And same as Ryan, we score 3-0 with Sakala to score first. Although what I would say, if Barris, obviously we've not heard any press conference yet, so if Barris is just still out, I would fully expect to see Patterson back in the team at left back, because I see Everton are back sniffing about him for the January transfer window, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Curry Muncher mentioned that earlier on. Where is it? What do you think of the 9-10 million bid for Patterson from Everton? Scotia, I'll come back to you. You brought it up there. So, what do you think? Would they go?
I think we would need to consider looking at that. We know he's a prospect, but he's not been playing week in, week out. I wouldn't want to see him go, but for £10 million, I think we really seriously need to look at that, because obviously the fixtures are rearranged, but I fully don't expect full crowds back for these games when they've been rearranged. So the club are going to lose out on some money, you would think. So again, that heightens the need for us to sell players. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him go. I wouldn't want them to, though.
Somebody will go in January, I think. There'll be a big blue chip player, if you want to say, for decent money, will go in January. We just hope it's not Joe Aribo.
Don't Mac, I'm not able to cope with that, honestly.
One will go. One will go.
I don't think
and I expect us to bring in a centre half and potentially a right-sided player, winger.
Yeah, Ali's very good at rolling every question I was about to ask all into one. Very good at that. I talked about Patterson, and the next thing he's rounded up everything I was going to say. Ryan, I'll come to you. 10 million for Patterson. It seems cheap. It really does seem cheap. Obviously, we always say Rangers need to sell players. We don't need to, but the business model that we are running on, there is a requirement for players to be moved on. We are a selling club. That is what we are. 10 million for Patterson, I don't know. I think that's something that could tempt the board.
It's what I feared. It really is what I feared. And all that's going through my head just now and repeat is that clip from This Is England where Stephen Graham walks through the shopkeeper's door and bandages a machete and says, "Get your hands off him now." That's all I can't stop thinking about that at the moment. I don't want us to sell him because I know Tavernier splits the support a lot. Whether you like him or not, or Tavernier's not going to be here forever. He's not going to be here for a lot longer. I play at that level a lot longer. Nathan Patterson's the future of Rangers for me, and I know we're a selling club, and I know it'll probably be convenient for the board to just let not a first team player go for a lot of money, because that 10 million is a lot of money. But I'll be gutted if he goes. But at the same time, it would make sense.
Yeah, and I know, and people are saying in the comments, I can see it, 10 million's a joke, etc. And it generally is for what they pay for players in the Premier League. It's stupid, like it's not even comparable, but we're not in the Premier League, and you've got to try and sometimes take that out of it. 10 million to any Scottish club, Celtic included, is a lot of money. I said the same thing about Joe Aribo. If somebody comes in for 20 million for Joe Aribo, Rangers won't say no to that. Same way Celtic, when they say 20 million for the best midfielder in Scotland, David Turnbull, they would take 20 million for him, of course they would. They're not daft. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it would happen, and it's hard to compete with the money in the English Premier League. It isn't possible to do so. So you've got to sometimes try and be realistic. And it's a factor of where we are. It's a factor of where we play football. It's a factor where our team plays football, unfortunately. And yeah, I just think 10 million might have the board twitching a wee bit, thinking, well, 10 million is quite a good bid. And somebody said as well, I don't know what it was, he'll be worth 35 million in 2 years. Yes, he will be. He'll be worth 50 million in 3 years, 4 years. He will. That's the way of the world. But I do have every faith in Ross Wilson to have the right contract in place for Rangers in terms of sell-ons instead of everything else that goes on along with that. So yeah, I would expect that to be done properly. Look, gentlemen, we've ran on for an hour, or just over an hour. Ryan, I know you want to get away, mate, and talk to your lad. I was going to say boot him square in the naturally, but I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want to get you in trouble. You don't hit your boy before Andy says in. Ryan doesn't hit his boy. Of course he doesn't. So, yeah, that'll do us for tonight. Look, we don't know what's going to happen over the next 3 weeks. We don't know when we're going to get back to football. One thing that I'll guarantee everyone is that we won't go anywhere. We will continue to bring you podcasts. We will continue to bring you the actions after games. We will be here through the winter break. We're not doing our live show now. We will plan shows. We'll do different things. We'll do live shows. Everybody can come on. We can ask us all questions, whatever you like, but we won't go anywhere. We will continue to battle on through this as champions do. So to everybody that's tuned in, left us a message, subscribe to the YouTube channel, that's liked the videos, that's left a comment, that's told their pals about us, everybody, I wish you all the very merriest of Christmases. I hope Santa is good to every single one of you. As I say, we will be back on Sunday after the game, but if you can't do it, you're too busy with family or everything else, then have a good New Year as well. So Ali, Merry Christmas, mate, and thank you for your time tonight.
Yeah, just echo what you said there to all the guys and girls that listen to us out there to have a Merry Christmas and enjoy the game in Boxing Day wherever you're going to watch it. Like I said before, I will be watching it in the pub. And yeah, Merry Christmas to all three of the guys on the podcast here, and hope you have a good year, and hopefully next year is the year of 56.
I hope so. Ryan, Merry Christmas, mate, and I hope we brought a wee bit of we went up and down. It was like a roller coaster tonight. We went from negative to positive and negative to positive, but hopefully we've lifted the Christmas spirits a wee bit. But Merry Christmas to you and your soon to be battered son.
Yes, indeed. Merry Christmas, boys. I hope you have a great Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone who is listening and watches the pod. Remember, Rangers are 7 points clear. No matter what happens, we are 7 points clear and we're champions. We're in a great position. so just don't bite with them. It'll feel even better when we beat them in New Year. That's the way I'm going to look at it. And I am going to go through to my living room and I'm going to shave my son's head with a manscaper trimmer.
Yes, yeah, I definitely should, mate. I don't know if you'd enjoy that too much. Oh, that's brilliant. Scotia, Merry Christmas, mate. And I'll hopefully speak to you on Boxing Day.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to the three of yous and Merry Christmas to all the listeners. Really enjoyed it this year. It's been a really fun pod to do because we've been so good. And even when we were poor, we were winning games most of the time. So really enjoyed it. And yeah, just hope everyone has a good 2022 when we get round to it. Although I'm sure we'll be back before then.
Yes. Yeah, so they say that'll do us tonight. On a personal note, I thank the guys for dealing with me all the time, constantly getting them to do different things for the podcast. I really do appreciate it. I can be a pain in the arse, and I know I can. And also, Merry Christmas to Jamie. Hopefully, we'll see Jamie back in more regular occurrence very, very soon. So, Merry Christmas to Jamie as well. But Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy the festive period. Enjoy the game in Boxing Day, because God knows the next time we're going to get to go see Rangers with our own two eyes again. As always, please like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a wee 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. We will be back in one way or another on Boxing Day after the game. So until we speak to you, enjoy your Christmas. Hope Santa's good to you. We'll speak to you all next time. Cheers, everyone.